Pluto is in Aquarius, and Pluto is the transformer, and Aquarius is about power to the people. And during this time, Pluto is going what's called out of bounds. So if you think about the planets move across the ecliptic energy, they stay within that band of the ecliptic. And then every so often a planet will drop outside that band, and it's either called a north or a south out of bounds. And so one of the women that Pam Gregory interviewed has looked back to the last time Pluto was out of bounds, and it was during the same time when it was in Aquarius 250 years ago, when the American and French revolutions took place. So this is about the return of the power to the people. Hi everybody, and welcome to From Shambles to Shambala. We've just gone through a very intense month of September, and I just want to back up a little bit and give you a clearer insight perhaps into what's been happening, so you will have a clearer understanding of what's happened in your own life. And it takes us back to the period between the two eclipses, when we had the total lunar eclipse on September the 7th, and then the partial solar eclipse on the 21st, right on the fall equinox. So what was happening during this period was the total lunar eclipse was inviting us to let go of all of the old energies that we've been living by, connected to the three-dimensional world. So all the old mundane ways in which we've lived our lives, our work, our relationships, our health and our harmony, and getting really clear on what we needed to release and let go from our old identity. And then on the solar eclipse on the 21st was our opportunity to step into the new earth energies and begin the focus on the way we want that world to be for us. So in the meantime, we had this 2-week period of uncertainty about what was going on, and you may have felt even discombobulated or not quite sure what you were doing, or forgetting about what you were supposed to be doing, because we were walking literally between the two worlds, the 3D and the 5D. So we were dropping back into the 3D, moving into the 5D, and it could have been quite confusing. And almost certainly during that period you would have had things pop up that you hadn't cleared on the eclipse, that you now needed to recognize this is still playing a role in my life and I need to let it go. But the other piece that's important to understand is right now we're going through what Richard Rudd calls a forking in the path. So there are two distinct pathways that are opening up. One for people who are moving into the new energy grid, the unknown, crossing through the threshold without knowing what it's going to be like, and those who are going to stick with the old 3D world, with the old familiar. So what we were doing during this 2-week period, we were dancing between those two worlds. And one of our roles, whether we knew it or not, was to help those people who are still undecided which way they were going to go and what frequency they were going to connect with. This is all about the frequency of the future dimensions. So this was what was causing all this uncertainty, confusion. You may well have found people walking away from you that used to be good friends, that no longer connect with you. And it's important for us to let those people go, because they've made their decision to stay with the old. And that's absolutely fine. That is a free choice that we all need to make. So now what's happening after the solar eclipse on the 21st of September, we're now moving through the fall equinox and moving into the sun sign of Libra, away from Virgo. Remember, we had those 2 new moons in Virgo. So now what's happening is we are shifting beyond that interconnectedness that was going on between the 3D and 5D and moving much more firmly into the 5D. So what's now happening is those two paths are coming further apart. There's like a separation or a drifting apart. So some of those people you won't even be aware of anymore. They just won't be in your field of consciousness or connection. And that's absolutely fine. And we just have to let them go with love. So as we move into Libra, then our job now is to find the harmony and balance inside ourselves first. And then Libra is all about our relationship with the other. So now we're wanting to establish the way in which our relationships are now going to take place in this new Earth energy grid. One-on-one first, and then collectively. And over the course of that period of uncertainty in September, we had the wonderful opportunity to meet with Rosie Aronson, connected to the Dream Arc of the Gene Keys and her own Wisdom Keepers Oracle deck. And she came for a visit and had several gatherings while she was here. And what was neat about that was for the whole time we were engaged, we very much felt as if we were in that fifth dimensional realm. Everything just flowed smoothly. Everyone was on side, connected, beautiful, loving frequencies, safe and soft and loving and balanced. So we were given a glimpse into the way in which this is going to operate in the future. And it's beautiful. So with all the crazy stuff that's going on in the world right now, we don't need to engage with that. That is going to collapse and disappear. And what we now want to do is to focus on moving forward on our own personal path as we step into these higher frequency energies. And when we can drop down into a calm, centered, peaceful space, then beautiful things start to happen. You start feeling these beautiful feelings inside. You start having these wonderful synchronistic events taking place. One of the things that we've noticed is there's a new quality to the light that's coming in to bathe us in that higher frequency energy. So now we want to focus our attention on the beautiful aspects of this new Earth energy coming in. Obviously, we continue to have the full moons and new moons. So just to comment upon that, we have on October the 6th, the full moon in Aries, the sun in Libra. So this is about taking action to find this harmonious balance in our own lives and in our primary relationships. And then on the 21st of October, we have the new moon right at the end of Libra. So having gone through this whole month of Libra energy, we're now looking to find that place of peace and harmony and balance within to lead us into the Scorpio energies, which start the next day on the 22nd. And now the Scorpio energy is saying, now we've got to take a deep dive right down into the underworld to uncover our personal truth. So this is where we now go deep, deep and deep and deeper and in to recover whatever still needs to be cleared and to set the intention for our true divine future self. Now, during this time, Oracle Girl, who you know we follow, has her October immersion. We don't yet know where she's going to be in the world, but she always travels to a place which requires her presence and the purification space for this whole month. And so every single day of October, beginning on the 2nd, there is this purification space available to us. And so this gives us another added impetus to create the world that we truly want for ourselves in the future. And all the other stuff that's happening in the world is going to dissolve and disappear. So the final piece to mention is Pluto is in Aquarius. And Pluto is the transformer, and Aquarius is about power to the people. And during this time, Pluto is going what's called out of bounds. So if you think about the planets move across the ecliptic energy, they stay within that band of the ecliptic. And then every so often a planet will drop outside that band, and it's either called a north or a south out of bounds. And so one of the women that Pam Gregory interviewed has looked back to the last time Pluto was out of bounds And it was during this same time, when it was in Aquarius 250 years ago, when the American and French revolutions took place. So this is about the return of the power to the people. And we're already seeing revolutions taking place in a number of countries across the globe. We are not here to engage in protesting or fighting or being involved in that type of revolution. Our revolution is a love revolution. It is our intention to hold the space for this higher frequency leading us back into the garden. So I really encourage you to stay closely connected to Mother Earth during this time. We're moving into the fall season in the Northern Hemisphere. So we are letting everything fall away. The leaves are falling, and we now move into this deeper, quieter place within ourselves, but when we can, still connecting with Mother Earth out in nature. She is leading the way, and the more aligned we are with her, the easier this is going to be for us. So it should be a somewhat smoother month. There are still big revelations to come out. And I just encourage you to hold space for yourself, for your friends and your family, to move forward into this new Earth energy grid, which is going to be magnificent. So have a great month.